Ndị be ekenekwenụ m unu. Asị m ka nkonye chiri ya zelụkwa. Asị na ụbọchị nke taa dịrị na anyị na mma. Anyị sị na ya dịka echi na echi ada agwụ agwụ. Etu anyị kwuru otu akọ ya dịrị ise. Biko tọọ ntị na ka anyị wetara nye bụ ozi anyị ji maka webe n'iru akwụkwọ n'ụbọchị nke taa na Easter News 24. This news bụ according to the Biafra activist weta ya bụ ozi as he quote. Breaking news. Biafrans react. Tinubu should pardon more criminals. Rufai Oseni drop a shocking bombshell on Tinubu pardoning criminals. Hear the news in details. All right, according to updated Makia Webia, one good turn deserves another. Yes. Tupu m gosi na ya bụ ife anyị maka webe n'iru akwụkwọ. Tọntị na kigoro ya bụ Rufai Oseni kwuru n'iru akwụkwọ. Ife onye Tinubu bụ wọtọwọtọ promas. Dịka ihe ga-ekebe arụ kere ya n'ife okwu. Over to you, sir.
Criminals that our institutions fought hard to convict. Then President Tinubu, your next pardon, I have some names for you. You must pardon Lawrence Omajiakpo Anini. You must pardon Oyenusi, the criminal. You must pardon Shekau. Look at the joke Nigeria has become. I like to talk with empirical facts.
Always, yes.
Presidential pardon, offense committed, October 2025. Drugs, 29.2%. Unlawful mining, 24%. Homicide, 13.5%. Fraud and corruption, 12.3%. Hijacking, 5.3%. Firearms, 2.3%. Robbery and theft, 2.3%. Human trafficking, 1.8%. You see, at this rate, let's all go mad together. Because if we have now become a nation where we pardon criminals.
Well, in another development, the presidential pardon granted last week by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to 175 inmates and ex-convicts continues to generate public reaction. The clemency followed approval by the National Council of State, while among those pardoned by President Tinubu was Miriam Sander, who had been sentenced to death in 2017 for killing her husband. The 37-year-old convict has spent 6 years and 8 months at Suleja Medium Security Custodial Center after being sentenced to death for culpable homicide. Her pardon sparked widespread criticism. In response, presidential spokesperson Bayo Ononuga said that Sanders' family pleaded for her release in the best interest of her 2 children, adding that the plea was also anchored on her good conduct in jail, her remorse, and her embracement of a new lifestyle, demonstrating her commitment to being a model prisoner. Sanders was arrested in November 2017 for stabbing her husband to death over alleged infidelity. She claimed her husband died after falling on a broken shisha pot during an argument. Rufai, when we took the story back in, I believe, when she was sentenced, it was heartbreaking to hear the circumstances that surrounded her death. And I'll take some reactions because the story has generated quite a few on social media, X, Instagram, and of course, Facebook. And I'll take Obiora, who wrote, "You can call it mercy, or you can call it what it is. Another reminder of how uneven our system truly is. On paper, a pardon looks noble. A show of compassion, a second chance, the image of a just leader extending grace. But in a country where justice bends for the powerful, mercy stops feeling like principle and starts to look like privilege. Too many ordinary people are serving endless sentences for lesser crimes, forgotten in overcrowded prisons with no one speaking their names. They don't get presidential attention or public sympathy. They just fade into the system's silence. And then there's Nnamdi Kanu, 5 years in detention, dragged through endless court proceedings with no clear resolution and no political will to end it. The same government that can find compassion in one case somehow finds only punishment in his. That's not justice. That's selective morality." Rufai, we had Honorable Obia Agwocha on the morning show yesterday, and he, touched on this particular Twitter user's comment, the fact that, the only thing that Nnamdi Kanu is looking for is a release so that they could attend to his health. And, this sort of conversation of who gets pardoned or not is, the sort of conversation I'd like us to have. I'll take another expose before I come to you. And this is from Awele, who wrote, "Was the family of the late Yamin Bello, that's her husband, consulted and in agreement before his killer, Miriam Sander, is being granted pardon?" That's the question. The reason for her pardon is vexatious. The late Yamin had his life cruelly cut short. No opportunity to see his children grow up, and Miriam is free. And that's one of the conversation, that Miriam is free so that she can attend to her children. Your thoughts on the story, Rufai?
I like to talk with empirical
As
facts.
always, yes.
Presidential pardon, offense committed, October 2025. Drugs, 29.2%. Unlawful mining, 24%. Homicide, 13.5%. Fraud and corruption, 12.3%. Hijacking, 5.3%. Firearms, 2.3%. Robbery and theft, 2.3%. Human trafficking, 1.8%. You see, at this rate, let's all go mad together. Because if we have now become a nation where we pardon criminals that our institutions fought hard to convict, then President Tinubu, in your next pardon, I have some names for you. You must pardon Lawrence Omajiakpo Anini. You must pardon Oyenusi, the criminal. You must pardon Shekau. Look at the joke Nigeria has become. You pardon all these people that have perpetrated heinous crimes, then you now have to drag the name of Herbert Macaulay in it to make it look legitimate. You now have to drag some of our founding fathers in it to make it, after you pardon all the criminals. Look at Farouk Lawan. There was a sting operation where the state security agencies, they were the ones that baited him with the bribe, the max notes. He pardoned him. So what nation do we have? What nation, I ask, do we have? But in the case of Nnamdi Kanu, people have been speaking. Some Igbo, top leaders came to Buhari last time to seek a peaceful resolution to the matter. No. Nnamdi Kanu is not being granted access to see doctors. This one, they're not even asking for pardon, access to see doctors. But all of a sudden, we are seeing all of this pardon flying around. So what lessons do we want for children in the generations yet unborn? A woman, we take the story here, planned the attack for good measure, also lacerated the husband's body. You say you talk to the woman's family before you pass. So the husband family, they have nothing. How will the husband family feel today?
And that's the right question.
See, the prerogative of mercy is expected that a president will be able to, dispense that prerogative reasonably. But as it is today, like somebody was saying today, I think they should be adding civil society so that we can circumvent the names brought forward. You see, our nation has just become a joke where anything happens. At this rate, we'll start pardoning certificate forgers if they will not even give themselves pardon already. Right. So what kind of nation are we living in? What kind of generation do we want to give? What kind of country?
How would they give themselves pardon? Tell me. How would they pardon themselves once they forge the certificates?
No, people like Nnaji that their allegations are certificate forging. Yes. When they get to positions, they will pardon themselves now.
All right.
When they get high up there, they will pardon themselves. We are living in a country where, you are having all sorts of... let me read a newspaper article that was written many years ago for you, Oji, where somebody was saying that people of questionable characters will be the one ruling Nigeria over the years to come. See, New Breed newspaper, this was in 1990s or something, where they were saying drug barons may determine the political future of Nigeria.
These are the
these are the issues in the country. This is not nice. And please, President Tinubu, with due respect, let's stop all of this. Let's make it make sense.
Yes. I mean, we have to live in a country where it appears that the federal government, presents itself as being accountable, fair, and just. What is good for the goose, is that how they say, is good for the gander. Well, we'll continue to follow up on this story. I'm sure there will be more names that will come up from this executive presidential pardon. Well,
n'ụbọchị uhuruchi nke taa n'elu akwụkwọ na Eastern News 24 ọ na-anụgo n'ife nwanne anyị wetara anyị ọ ya amasị anyị na ọ bụ na nke ụbọchị izi gị na-esore ka gbarụ kịtụsa ya bụ ozi ọzọ dịka ibe ya bụ achọkwa ka idere na akara kọmentị ife iche n'ụdị nke gị gbasara maka iwe ya bụ ife niile ịnụ n'iru akwụkwọ n'ụbọchị uhuruchi nke taa mgbakọ ebe si ya na ụmụnne m